Hello everybody, welcome to the Bison Coaches Corner. We're here to talk about Bison men's basketball today. What a fantastic start to the season for the Bison. My name is Jeremy Jorgenson. I'll be your host throughout the entire year. This is episode 1 for the season. The Bison are 11-5 and 3-0 in the conference, and we welcome to the set today head coach Dave Richman. Congratulations on the start to the year, Coach. What a fantastic ride it has been for this group so far, hasn't it?
Appreciate that, Jeremy. It has, and like you said, so far, it's a good start for us. We've got a young, inexperienced group. We're still learning, maturing, but for us to be 3-0 is a great start. We need to keep building on that.
How about what has been the one ingredient that has really drove this team to this point? You're 11-5 overall. 2 of those losses were Texas and Iowa, so you got to kind of look at it that way. But what's been the one ingredient that's driven this team so far?
You know, for the most part, I think we've defended well, but I think our team chemistry, our overall, let's just figure out a way to get it done too. You know, we've been healthy for the most part in the conference season, but in the non-conference, there was a lot of times one game we played with 6 guys, one game we basically played with 5. So give our kids credit. They've been a real resilient group so far.
Hey, we're in January now. It's the heart of conference play. What do you think of the league so far now through about 4 games here?
Well, I know it's tough. You know, I mean, we've had a 6-point game and 2 3-point games. You look around the league, the 2 teams that were picked, you know, first and second already have 3 losses. I believe they're 1-3. You take a look at an IUPUI and a South Dakota are 3-1 and 2-1 off to great starts. It's a very, very balanced league, top to bottom. I'm not sure there's just a team that stands out, you know, that you just, you know, oh wow, like there maybe has been in the past few years, but I don't think I've ever seen in my 7-8 years of being in the Summit League the parity top to bottom.
No, I agree with you. Now you have your young team, but Maurice Alexander, Dave, that's been the one constant. You've been able to reach into him for some leadership, and the guys kind of look to him. He's averaging 17.8 points a game, leading the Summit League in scoring. Talk about him, what he's had to deal with to kind of wrap this young team together.
Well, it's a credit to Lawrence. You know, we all know Lawrence, you know, the last 3 years and who he's been on the court with and deferring maybe a little bit at times to them and just doing what was asked to get the win, you know. And, you know, this year we've needed him to step up. I think first and foremost, I'll give Lawrence a lot of credit. He's become a lot better practice player. He's gone harder in practice, and that's translated for him in the games. You know, but then throughout the course of a game, Lawrence does this, Lawrence does that. But at the end, he's just a winner, Jeremy. And you've seen him for the last 3.5 years now, and we've put the ball in his hands, and he's made some special plays, and it's been very good for us so far.
I'm curious about Dexter Warner. I get lots of questions about him. I'm sure you do as well. You know, nobody really knew what to expect, and maybe I don't even know if you knew what to expect of him, but this kid is playing well. He provides an element of toughness and just energy out there, doesn't he?
Yeah, like I said, if I got a quarter for every time I got asked about Dexter Warner, I'd be a rich man. But you know, all the credit goes to Dexter. You know, Dexter's done a tremendous job of changing his body around and getting in some pretty good shape and getting stronger with our strength and conditioning staff, Coach Miller in particular. But the other thing is that he was in a tough situation, Jeremy, the last couple of years where we all knew no matter how he played, how he practiced, you know, his minutes were going to be very, very limited just by who was in front of him, the experience that was in front of him. But again, to his credit, he never really hung his head. He stayed competitive in practice and just learned and got better. And now when he was getting called on, he's responded and answered.
I'm curious about your defense, too, from a team perspective. 63 points a game you're giving up, which is fantastic, but routinely keeping teams in the 50s. How do you feel about your defense? It's been very good so far from my perspective.
Yeah, you know, it's been a staple of who we've been, you know, this year and in the past few years as well. We feel if we can keep teams in the half court, that we're as good as anybody, you know, and that's what we've got to do. We've got to take good shots. We've got to take care of the ball. So teams aren't getting opportunities to leak out on us and get in transition, because we do feel, especially in the half court with our discipline, with some of our length and athleticism that we have, in particular in our league, that we're very comfortable and confident in the half court defensively.
Curious about this home court advantage. I mean, you move out of the BSA, you're into Shields, 8-0 at home now. I mean, the guys must feel comfortable at Shields. How do you feel about it so far?
Yeah, you know, Shields is quickly, you know, becoming not just a house but a home for us. And I think, you know, Jeremy, what you're seeing is a lot of kids with a lot of pride, you know, that they're taking accountability and pride in what the younger guys, or the guys from the past have done and laid that groundwork and just building it. And I think it's 18, 19 games or whatnot. And you know, again, it's a credit, you know, to our fans, our Bison Nation, for coming and support us, and just, again, at the very end of the day, that pride of, hey, this is ours. This is where, you know, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears goes into this. Let's protect this house.
Give us a summary of this week. You got 2 conference games. It's a Wednesday, Friday week for you, a road game, then a home game. But first up, South Dakota. Craig Smith's the head coach there. He was with Miles, Tim Miles. Everyone knows Tim Miles. He's doing a good job so far. They've kind of been up and down, but they're a dangerous team, very tough at home, aren't they?
Yeah, you start the league's different this year from, there's not the true travel partners. There's not the true Thursday, Saturdays. And we're going to get into that right away here on Wednesday against the South Dakota team that's playing with a lot of confidence right now. They have 3 seniors, Brandon Boss, Tyler Larson, and James Hunter, that are just doing what seniors do. This is it. This is their last go-around. They got a couple months left in their college career, and they're just going out and playing. And there's a lot to that, and credit Craig, he's implemented some things, there's no question, but I think what you're seeing is just some seniors just stepping up and enjoying that moment. And then we turn around and we'll drive back late that night. School's getting going this week, and then Friday night, a good Western Illinois team that goes on the road and takes care of business at home versus IUPUI. Or IPFW, and then also beats a good Omaha team as well. And now they've lost a couple, but Billy and that crew is doing a good job there.
We'll have you covered this week on the Bison Radio Network. Scott Miller will have the call Wednesday night, and myself and Scott on Friday, 790 KFGO. And, of course, the Coach's Corner now on a weekly basis will be here for you. We're going to break down the games. Best of luck to you, Dave.
Appreciate that, Jeremy. We're looking forward to the rest of it. We're excited.
And Bison Nation, we'll see you out at Shields Arena on Friday, and we'll see you next week here on the Coach's Corner.